see the law of this jungle, it's as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back, balls in my heart, my city on the map. I was in the field, you sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, rep till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Settle it. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down on the ground, now I'm up for the fight. I'm on it. See sight at the dark, now it's into the light. Out for more, down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Done dirt, but my crep stay clean. Send for me, rude boy, I am me. Look at my camp with the verses. Clean sheet in him, and I'm on the verse with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the purses. Deathmatch to your family in hearses. The law of this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. You see out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
Back at the Golden Palace, the home of football, as Julian Lopetegui's side look to get back to winning ways, having picked up just 1 point from the last 9 available. There are some looking over their shoulders once again with a tough test against the Tottenham Hotspur team, who could do with bouncing back after their disappointment in the FA Cup in midweek. It is set to be a pretty big occasion at Molineux this afternoon. I'm Mikey Burrows, joined as ever by the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson, and the former Wolves defender / winger Claire Hakeman is with us as well. Tomo, we'll get straight into it because I know you are still annoyed and haven't fully calmed down after what you saw on Wednesday. And I think it's just important for people who might have picked up on some of the things I was putting on social media yesterday and listened to our Matchday Live Extra post-match reaction from Wednesday night as well, to just kind of explain a little bit of why you were so frustrated with what you saw on Wednesday and what you want to see change here this afternoon.
Yeah, so look, just looking at the way that we've played, I thought Liverpool were there. I was just saying to Claire about Liverpool were there for the taking for me the other night. If we'd have just been on our front foot, if we'd been positive and take gambles around the 18-yard box, we'd have come away with something out of the game. And I was disappointed because there was an opportunity missed there the other night against them. There's an opportunity to get 3 points, more importantly. But I was just frustrated with the way that some of the performances went on and the way that we played. And you yourself know that we've got a good team, we've got a good squad. And when we saw us concede those 2 goals, that one, defending wasn't great for either goal. And also as well, I think performances weren't great. And when you look at the highs that we've had when we played Liverpool here and the way that we played against them, if we'd have played anything near what we played against Liverpool here, we'd have won the game. And that was the frustrating part about it.
It's the quirk, isn't it, Claire, of playing the same team so many times in such a short space of time, 4 times in 53 days. You kind of come away from it thinking like Liverpool have got the upper hand on us in that run of games, whereas we arguably did deserve to win in the FA Cup at Anfield. We beat them comfortably here, and yet it left a bit of a sour note from Wednesday.
Yeah, I think so. I think we know in that, the first FA Cup game, we really dominated. We should have come away with a win. We beat them convincingly at home. So to go up there and just really not compete as such, I think it was like a bit of a trigger point for us that once we get to around 70, 75 minutes, it's kind of a real point for us. We've either got to push on and try and get the goal or decide whether we're going to be settling for a point, and at the moment we seem to be conceding around that time frame. So it's really disappointing. I think the fact that we just didn't create in the final third, I think looking back on the stats over our last probably 10 or so games, it was the least amount of shots that we've created in a game, and only 1 shot on target, 2 corners. It just tells you the lack of activity in that final third. And it's great to play nice football in the centre. I think we did that brilliantly for the first 60 minutes against Fulham, but ultimately we need to win games. We need to get points on the board, and we didn't really compete with Liverpool, I don't feel, on Wednesday evening.
you two like it. You two know that I like it when you bring up stats because it gives me an opportunity to show off all the work I've been doing the last couple of days. But you mention it because we only attempted 8 crosses in the game on Wednesday. The Bournemouth home game, there was 40. So the numbers really kind of went down. Dribble success was around about the same, but you're right, Claire. 1 shot on target, 2 off target in the entire game. Not a single shot from outside the penalty area, by the way, on Wednesday night. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on because it's part of my research, the boring work that Tomo doesn't like to do, but some of us have to knuckle down to. There's an interesting quirk, which we'll talk about later on in the programme. We're going to be joined by Tim Spears as well, by the way, our friend who's gone off to work down south and cover Spurs to give us a bit of an insight on them. But let's look at the team news for today, because clearly Julian Lopetegui was as unhappy as Tomo was with Wednesday, because that man in your picture there, Pedro Neto, is into the starting lineup. First time he's been involved in 154 days. His last action was away at West Ham in Bruno Lage's last game. He's had a couple of 45 minutes for the under-21s. He scored in the first one he played against Arsenal at Compton. So he starts. We think he's starting on the right of a front three. Sorry, on the left of a front three with Sarabia on the right. Diego Costa into the starting lineup for the first time since the away game at Aston Villa. And Johnny starts a Premier League game for the first time since the thrashing by Leicester here at Molineux when Steve Davis and James Collins were in charge. He has featured in some cup games since then. No Daniel Pedence involved in the matchday squad at all. Hugo Bueno misses out because of a hamstring injury picked up on Wednesday. And Raul Jimenez drops to the bench. So, Tomo, over to you. Your reaction to that starting lineup?
I'm surprised that Kunar isn't playing. I thought Kunar would start with him coming back. I'm surprised about Diego Costa because I thought Jimenez has played pretty well in the 2 games. I know he still hasn't had many attempts on goal, but I thought his hold-up play and his assists, especially against Fulham, was good. I'm just surprised because it's going to be a difficult game today against Tottenham. And again, it's one of those teams that if you can get at them and put pressure on them, you've got a opportunity to get something out of the game, and that's what it is today. So I am a little surprised that we've gone with that lineup, but I say like the manager knows best. He knows what he wants to get from his side. Don't know the reasons why Pedence isn't on the bench at all, so that will be interesting to find out his thoughts about that. But look, so he's put this side out there, what he thinks are going to beat Tottenham. So probably because the game's come a little bit close. Was it 3 days after the last one? So we might have just done that just to rest a few legs. Moutinho going out as well.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, isn't it, Claire? That there is obviously the element of having played a game only a couple of days ago. But this feels a little bit more on the basis that clearly those who started on Wednesday didn't do what Lopetegui wanted.
Yeah, I think there was always going to be changes, wasn't there? I think it's really disappointing, first of all, that we've lost Hugo Bueno. I know it's only 3 to 4 weeks or so, but I think he's been brilliant the last few weeks and a real outlet, but actually really improved on his defensive side of his game as well. So I'm guessing that Johnny's come in because it offers a bit more defensive solidity, maybe, and that's why he's come into there. I'm really pleased to see that 3 midfield with Nuno, Nunez, Neves, and Lamina. I think that's much better option for us to go 4-3-3. And get into that final third. We're at home. We've been playing well recently at home, bar the Bournemouth game. So I would like to say that I think it means that we're going to have more outlets, lots more options going forward. And at least if you look at the bench, we've got Cunha, Jimenez and Traore ready to come on and mix it up as well.
Well, Wolves are just heading out for their pre-match warm-up. We'll talk more about the team news. Your thoughts on it as well, by the way. Use the hashtag Wolves Live on Twitter to get in touch and have your say on the selection made by Julian Lopetegui for this afternoon's game. I say we'll talk to Tim Spears about Spurs and other things in a couple of minutes' time, but let's take a look back at the best from Wednesday night at Anfield. Salah looking to run at Bueno. He's got Alexander-Arnold on the overlap. He's gone an awful long way. It's going to come through to Bajcetic, who shoots, and it's low and a comfortable save for Jose Sarr. Semedo's ball forwards just evades Jimenez, but it comes infield to Mateus Nunes, who lifts it early, looking for the run of Jimenez. He'll get to it down by the right-hand sideline. Looks to lift across towards the far post. Moutinho cushioning it down. Moutinho to hit it, and it's well saved by Alisson. Breno's corner, left-footed from the left-hand side in front of the Kop, goes in low. It's hooked goalwards, oh, and Sarabia couldn't quite head it home at the far post. Mateus lost his footing. Alexander Arnold crossing. It's teed up for Elliott to strike it. Really good save by Jose Sarr. Finding Elliott to try and strike it low, and thankfully didn't get fully behind it. And Jota's been allowed to run an awful long way. Almost still going, and across came Kilman, and it's turned in. Darwin Núñez finishes it. Wolves will protest towards the referee.
Fell on Kilman.
He puts his whistle to his lips. And that's a free kick. And it's headed goalwards, and well saved by Jose Sarr, put back in and turned home. Virgil van Dijk. This one's going to count. Long kick from Alisson, headed infield by Tsimikas, gets it back from Gakpo. Tsimikas driving on, left-hand side of the penalty area, still running, low one in, turned home by Salah. Liverpool have a second.
He's aware that 1 in 8,333 make the cut, and so he's thinking about scoring while he's lacing up. He made sure he ate good and got his 8 hours in. The gaffer told him just focus, and you'll do nothing but win. And even though the things on Snap kept on buzzing down his phone, he had a little peek, he swiped right, but he made sure he left them alone. It's no distractions, I've gotta keep that hunger and focus. Check my kickback twice, and remove that chip off my shoulders. Can't be late, I'm trying to be the first one to the ground. Headphones in, I'm vibing, bopping, listening to SR and Pounds, thinking it's nerves. But then I think, some of these man just talk enough. Take it easy, and don't go too intense on the warm-up. Man like Kai, quick firms, but you know he's gonna be marking me. I can't get caught flat-footed, and he knows just how sharp I'll be. Match scenario, 1 inch space, and then I'm in there. Quick 1, 2, boom, first goal, that's me. Get in there, calm down. I gotta keep myself composed, and I can't get too gassed, because it wasn't the cleanest of goals. I need another. To go first team, I have to make a statement. Remember, talent can only take you so far. It's the hard work that sticks out blatant. You know Ryan's got a ping on him, so when he gets it, you're gone. Fake coming short for the ball, then drop the shoulder, race on. Are you a speedy one, bro? Is the defender kind of slow? And if so, it's all about that first touch towards the goal. Because if it's dead, then you're given time to make up the ground. And if it's good, you hit the back of the net, make that beautiful sound. The gaffer's watching, he's making notes, and then he sees assistant walk up. He tells you that they're impressed, and that you've earned yourself a call-up. Then he says, wait, before you even think about making the team, make sure you go home and get those dirty bits clean. Man, this is nuts, I'm shaking. Wait till I tell my mum and the bros. I'm gassed, I've been grafting for this, but still kinda mad I've been chose. Crazy, anticipation. Use all the emotions to feed desire and fuel performance. Tell your boys you're locked tough, and tomorrow's game is enormous. Match day, you're in the tunnel. Put yourself at the back of the line. Close your eyes for a second. When you open them again, it's your time. Wolves, next gen.
Do you have what it takes? It's the strategy, the discipline, the anticipation, the defeats, the victories. The people who get it, get it. The people who don't. We are Wolves Women, and we are their official FX trading partner.
So it's Matchday Live here at Molineux. Andy Thompson and Claire Hageman alongside myself, Mikey Burrows. We are still digesting that team news. 3 changes. Diego Costa in for Raul Jimenez is one we've not discussed too much, Claire. I thought Raul did really well on Friday. Obviously, a bit isolated on Wednesday. He might be one of those where the feeling is that can he get through 3 games in a week, having not really featured as much?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's my thoughts as well, really, because I think he has done really well the last, couple of games, albeit, like you say, he was quite isolated on Wednesday night. But I think he's a player that we really wanted to see a little bit more from, and I think we have over the last couple of weeks. He's really improved and really linked the play. Obviously, at Fulham, the Sarabia goal was, down to him. That little knockback was excellent to see, and I do think with having Diego Costa in the wings, he's somebody that's going to put it about a bit and be a threat to their defensive line as well. And we know he did really well when he came on against Southampton, and I think they'll be looking for that kind of impact. Maybe rest Jimenez, maybe he'll come on today, or maybe we'll save him for Newcastle away.
And Pedro Neto, Tomo, his direct running is something that maybe Wolves just haven't quite had, have they? Padence's done what he's done. Sarabia is a very good player in my book. And Adama, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
But Pedro just has that kind of, I don't know, the X factor, isn't it? It's a star quality.
Well, I'm hoping that he's going to replicate what he did before. I thought that he struggled when he first come back after his injury. I thought that he struggled and he got himself injured again. But we want that Neto that before he had that big injury to come back into this side and cause big trouble for defenders, because he was very direct. He was positive in everything that he did. He tried to get beyond players, and that's what we want to see. We want to see players taking them on and getting at them, being direct and being positive about their general play, and that's what we want to see from Neto. Because there's no doubt about it. So like he was talked about all over the Premier League and other clubs as well about how good he was, and we want to see that again today especially.
Harry says Nunez has got to start showing something. I'd not be starting him on recent performances. Mark says praying that Nunez and Costa finally turn up and show us the players that we thought we were bringing in, and that Johnny and Neto can hit their straps straight away. Huge day, says Mark on Twitter. You can have your say at Mikey Burrows, at Wolves. Use the hashtag Wolves Live to get in touch and give us your thoughts. Let's listen in to some of the pre-match thoughts of Julian Lopetegui.
So we have to be ready to, when we won, we are not in the sky. When we lost, we are not in the hell. We have to be balanced, knowing that in the next day when you lost, for me, is a very important day. You have to be aware and alert, and to wake up with energy and look in the next target.
I think Spurs have confirmed that Antonio Conte won't be at the game tomorrow. He's had a really tough season personally. He's lost 3 close friends. He's had to have surgery. He's obviously now away from his team. Do you think sometimes people forget that managers, footballers are human too? You have problems to deal with like the rest of us?
Very good question. Very good question. The rest of the questions are good, okay, but it's an interesting question. It's true. We are person. Yes, we are person. Yeah, we have feelings. We have family. But this is normal. The football is always. We have to accept this part of our job because you have the same problem that you, with your family, with your I don't know, in the life for all. Not only for, we are not robots, and that's why the first of all is I hope and wish the best for Antonio. He's an incredible coach. I have a big respect for him. Has a coach and has a person too. I know him, and I hope that he already as soon as possible to start working again. This is the main thought of me. And after, in your question, of course, you are right. We are person, yes.
Just finally from me, as you said, I know you're a big admirer of Antonio Conte. Some Spurs fans have had enough. They want Antonio Conte gone. Do you find that a bit crazy, given how impressive a coach he is?
No, I know. I don't talk about. This is one other question. Different. This is about the football. The football, the fans, and our job is like this. But you ask me about Antonio, I can highlight that he's one of the best coaches in the world. he has been and he is, because his career talk for himself. So that's all, in my opinion. Okay, gracias.
Julian Lopetegui with his pre-match thoughts. As you can see, we've been joined by our old friend, Tim Spears, still of The Athletic, but no longer of this particular parish. Great to have you back with us, my friend. I know you've been covering Spurs all season. We will talk about them in just a second, but I know you got to see us on Friday night. How much else have you been able to keep up with what's been going on this season?
Just say that again, Mikey. It's very loud in the stadium. I can't hear you too well.
It is very loud. Just saying, how much have you been able to keep up with what's been going on at Wolves this season?
Your outstanding coverage. Every time I'm not at a Spurs game, I'm watching Mikey Burrows and watching Wolves as much as I can. And yeah, it's been interesting watching it all unfold. It's been a really difficult season, obviously. I was really enthused by what I saw in terms of the January editions, and I was at Fulham last week to see one of the best sort of performances from Wolves in terms of the style of football they played in some time, really. I thought some of the fluidity and the interchanging and the movement, I've not really seen that since sort of early Nuno days, so it was really great to see, and I'm hoping, secretly, don't tell any Spurs fans, because I'm hoping more of the same today, Mikey.
I'll tell you what, because we can't hear him too well, what we'll do, because he's only just over there, Tim, you come down and you can share Tomo's microphone. Come down and speak to us, because we want to hear from you, but we can't hear you what we're saying on there. It's a real technical difficulty. So we'll go to a 3-shot and we'll get Tomo in it, and we'll get Tim to come down and join us and say a few words, because it's an interesting scenario that we find ourselves in this type of thing where we're going for the way Wolves are at the moment. It's interesting to get the view of someone who has played an awful lot, but obviously hasn't been able to see the team as much and get to different view thoughts from it. Whilst we wait for Tim just to make his way down, he'll appear behind Tomo in a second. Tomo, I mean, it's been a strange old year so far, hasn't it? And we just kind of hope that we can drag ourselves fully clear at the moment.
Yeah, we've had opportunities, haven't we? We've had opportunities. I think Bournemouth was a missed opportunity, losing the game. I thought Fulham was a little bit as well, because we played really well for 60 minutes, and then for them to get back and get a draw. There he is on the side. But yeah, I just think that we've got to take advantage of the opportunities that we get. I know we've got Tottenham, who are a good side. We've got Newcastle next week, then we've got Leeds at home. So there's an opportunity there for us to get some good results, and especially playing here at Molineux.
This is just my excuse to try and get Tim close to me, because I've missed him so much in all the time he's been away. You were just saying about, obviously, it's been a strange time to take a step back from watching Wolves, as you have done for so long. And what have you made of what's been going on while you've been away?
Well, I was trying to tell you on my answer how the only way I've been keeping up today with Wolves is through your fantastic coverage.
Oh, that's a terrible way to try and do it.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm a Wolves fan and always will be. So I've been watching as much as I can, and it's been a really interesting season from afar. I felt really sorry for Bruno Lage and some of the issues that he's sort of encountered, but it's been a breath of fresh air to see Julian Lopetegui come in. I thought the January business was great, although for some reason they didn't sign a striker. Answers on a postcard. I don't really get that one. But I was at Fulham a couple of weeks ago to see them play some fantastic football. Some of the best football I've seen Wolves play in quite a few years, to be honest, since like the bombastic early Nuno days. And it was great to watch. However, as I'm sure you discuss every week on this show, there was no one to sort of finish off the great chances of movement that they were creating. But from afar, I mean, I've been back here about 2 hours, and every single person I speak to is like really worried and really negative and thinking, "Oh my God, what's going to happen to this team?"
That's typical Wolves, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I guess I'm sort of outside the bubble a bit down in London, and I just think Wolves are fine, because the other teams I've seen this season they're considerably worse than Wolves. And I think I was speaking to someone at Wolves last week, and he said, from the other clubs that he speaks to, a lot of them would swap their squad with Wolves. That's how good Wolves are. Technically, from sort of 1 to 10, they've got almost everything you want for like a mid-table team looking upwards. It's just that finishing touch, which must be really frustrating for regular watchers, I imagine.
Because Claire, there is always an element, isn't there, of a natural pessimism that creeps into you at times. There was someone on social media to me the other day, and I was trying to give that balanced view, and they turned around, they were like, just get Tomo on. Like, you've been too calm, Mikey. Like, people want to panic. They don't want to chill at the moment.
I think as a Wolves fan, you just always got your eyes over your shoulder. You're not quite sure how this is going to roll, but I think the Liverpool game here was probably one of the few games I can tell you that I actually relaxed as a Wolves fan. We got a 3-goal lead, and even then, till about 10 minutes to go, was only the point where I actually got a bit confident that we were going to see it through. And that's just life as a Wolves fan, isn't it? Like, we always seem to keep that one goal apart from a team. We never seem to kill people off, and I think that's just the key. If we go and get a goal today, we've got to go and get the second. We can't sit back. If we play open, I think we've got the best chance of winning today. I think if we sit back at all and try and absorb pressure, I don't think you get the best out of us. Because technically, like Tim says, we're a brilliant squad. But I think the table doesn't lie. We've got Harry Kane coming here today, who's on 18 goals, and our total haul is 18 goals. So we've got a lot of work to do in the final third. But I think today's a big opportunity for us, as well as the next 2 games coming up.
Claire's just saying that we can't afford to sit back and soak up pressure against this Tottenham team. From the outside, again, a different position to you, but from the outside you look at Spurs and go, well, the fans never seem to be happy, but they are winning games, and then they go and lose a match like Sheffield United. What do we expect from this Spurs team?
Honestly, don't know. But I know you've got me on here for my expert opinion, but I can't tell you. They're extremely inconsistent. There's a lot of issues behind that, but they've had injury issues this season. They are missing a couple of key players, but I still don't know what Spurs is going to turn up every week. And I watched them get hammered at Leicester 4-1 the other week. It should have been 6 or 7. Wolves will look at that and see that they can be got at defensively. And Eric Dyer sits this one out. An advantage for Wolves is that they've got their biggest game of the season coming up on Wednesday, home to AC Milan. And I think that's been reflected in his team selection today, because Emerson Royale as well has been dropped from or rested at right back. He's been very, very good recently. The thing about Spurs is, as Wolves fans have seen over the past few years, is that Harry Kane can always get them out of trouble. And if you take his goals out of this team, Spurs are like mid-table this season if you take his goals away. But he's their best creator, their best goal scorer. It's honestly a privilege to watch him week in, week out. He covers so many areas of the pitch and does it so well. He's extremely intelligent. He'll win fouls, he'll win free kicks, he'll set up goals, he'll score goals. It's all about him, and no matter who's marking him, they'll have a tough time. But other than that, Son's been in horrendous form this season. Kulusevski's only scored 2. Their midfield's average. I'd have Wolves' midfield any day of the week, to be honest. So they can definitely be got at, and like I said, they're very, very inconsistent, and they had a horrible result in midweek, which they'll be stinging from.
Definitely. Thank you for coming down and speaking to us. It's always good to see you, my friend. For me too, my friend. We'll hopefully see Tim Spears again fairly soon. More from Tomo and Claire in just a second, and we will go through the predictions. Is Tomo going to go for 2-1 again? Find out in a couple of minutes.
Wolverhampton is a proud and diverse city, proud of its history and proud of its people. When times are tough and life is challenging, Wolverhampton stands together. At Wolves Foundation, we are the heartbeat of the community. We support thousands of people across the city of all ages and abilities. Half of the people we work with are from areas among the most deprived 10% in the country. We encourage people to become healthier and more active. 92% of our participants have improved their mental and physical well-being. We develop lifelong learning and skills. 90% of our participants have improved their educational achievement. We work hard to build safe, strong, and active communities. 84% of our participants feel they have contributed to a safer, stronger, and more inclusive community. Football is such a powerful sport. It brings us together and drives us forward. At Wolves Foundation, we are proud of our work and proud of our impact. Creating opportunities and changing lives.
Have you been looking around to see what you want to buy? Is that going in? Yeah? Oh, it's already Good fit? Do you like that? Yeah. Yeah?
Oh, look, then you're right. I've got a voucher for you.
Oh, look at that.
You want to spend it together? You want to spend it together? Yeah? Have a look at some things.
Cool. You can have a photo.
Should show the voucher as well.
The voucher. Oh, you lucky boy. Oh.
It's for you.
Wow.
First one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
One more. Put that in. Do you like that? That's good.
Wow.
That'll keep you warm.
Wow. Very stylish.
Can we try a bit so turn it around? There we go. Wow.
No problem. Very nice to meet you. Hope you enjoy the presents.
It's not normally like that. I think it's just a bit
Starstruck. Thank you.
Nice
to meet you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
No worries. See you later, man.
We'll see you in a week Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be there. All the games.
Lachlan's special day, lovely Maximilian Kilman to go and help out for that very special surprise. Kevin says, given the injuries to Bueno, Hwang and Cunha, it's the strongest lineup that Julian Lopetegui has at the moment. The subs on the bench are really going to have to play their part as well. Joe says Sarabia and Costa have to step up. Chris says, looks good on paper, but who knows with our inconsistent form. Dave says, is this too early for Neto? Who's going to score the goals in this team? Costa needs someone playing alongside him. Richard says needed a shake-up after such tepid effort at Liverpool. Great chance for Neto today. And another Dave says after all the negativity, Johnny is nailed on to score today. Keep your thoughts coming. Tomo, who's going to be the key player for you today?
Well, I'm hoping that Neto's going to have an absolute blinder. But I just think that the front three are going to be very important to us in this game. I think the supply's got to be good, but also as well, we've got to take our chances. If we get any chances, we've got to take them. We've got to start scoring goals. As Claire was saying, we haven't got many this year. And if we're going to climb away from that bottom of the table, we're going to have to start scoring from somewhere. And why not today? So I'm going to have Neto probably be confident going forward.
Claire, before you answer, let me just tell you this. I was doing the research yesterday. You might have seen this on Twitter because you actually look at what I post, whereas Tomo wouldn't have bothered. Tim Robinson, the referee, the last Wolves game that he took charge of, April 2018, Wolves 2, Derby 0, a certain Ruben Neves wonder goal that took place. But in the 8 matches he's taken charge of for Wolves, Tomo, how about this? Helder Costa screamer away at Newcastle. Helder Costa turning QPR inside out. Romain Saiss smashing one in from distance at Millwall. And Benica Fobi lobbing the keeper from 25 yards at Leeds. After all that, Claire, for goodness sake, someone shoot from distance today.
I think I'm feeling it. I saw your post, and the first thing I thought was, I think Neves is due a goal, isn't he, from distance? So we due a screamer, and maybe today will be the day. I think for me, the key battles are going to be keeping hold of Harry Kane. You know, we know he's their main threat in terms of goal scoring. So I think Dawson and Kilman, they've been on decent form recently. So hopefully they can keep hold of him. And then for me, Nunes, I think we due a performance from him. And then that in the final third, we've just got to be clinical. We're not going to get masses of chances today, but when they come along, we need to create and we need to finish them off. And that'll be the key today, is us being clinical in that final third. Because for me, I think Spurs are inconsistent. I don't know how they're fourth in the table, because when I watch them on TV as a neutral, you either see a fantastic display or awful. You don't often see much in between. So today, I think this is an opportunity for us to get the crowd behind us and go and get that 3 points.
Scoreline, what are you thinking, Claire?
I'm going to go 2-0. Quite positive. 2 goals clear. I'm thinking we need to get that, that difference. But let's go for it.
Did you see the look on Tomo's face when he heard 2 and he thought you were going to steal it?
I just couldn't steal it, to be honest. I wanted 2-1, but
Cheers,
I
Claire.
think, I'll upset. I don't want to upset him. He's very close to me here.
There we go. I don't want to disappoint you. 2-1, mate.
And with Sam Ricketts not being here, the way is clear for me to take 1-0 as ever. Join us for full live radio commentary at wolves.co.uk and wherever you are on the move around the world via the Wolves app in a couple of minutes' time. We will leave you to build up to kick-off with the first Wolves win against Spurs in the Premier League era since promotion. It was a memorable day at the National Stadium.
I was here in this stadium and I won the Olympics here in 2012. So come back again and win against Tottenham it's amazing, and I'm proud of the team.
The law of this jungle is as old and as real as the sky. And the wolf that abides will prosper, but a wolf that breaks it will die. You see, out here in this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. I used to run with the pack, nowadays I run for the pack. Represent from the front to the back, balls in my heart, my city and the map. I was in the field, you're sitting on the bench. See me in the gym, rep till I'm bench. Sweat till I win, that's a victory stench. Yeah, we stay ready for the war, man, I settle in the score. Right now I'm with the hype, I ain't in it for the light. I was down in the ground, now I'm up for the fight. Seaside at the dark, now it's into the light. Alpha mode, down for my team. I wake up and I'm chasing a dream. Dumb dirt, but my crap stay clean. Step for me, rude boy, I am me. Look at my count with the verses. Clean sheet in him and I'm on the verse with. Prize fighter, I'm taking the purses. Death match and death, I'm making hearses. The law of this jungle, we run it forward and back. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. You see out here in this jungle.